Good afternoon, folks. Robert Chappell here, Executive Editor, Madison365, with your daily update for Wednesday, November 24th. Hope you're having a good day and that you're, most of you, if you're in the office, probably have a kind of one eye out the door and for the long weekend. Definitely the case around here. But we do have some news for you to get you up to date here on the coronavirus infection situation here in Wisconsin. Numbers today are very similar. In fact, I had to double take because when I first looked at these numbers, I thought, well, they haven't even updated the numbers yet today. But they have. They're just kind of the same as yesterday in most cases, which is actually not terrible. I mean, the numbers are terrible. But when you stay steady for a day, that is at least one moment where things didn't get worse, right? In fact, it looks like things got a little better in at least one measure. Yesterday, we reported that the positive test rate, which is to say, of all tests in the past 7 days, 11.3% came back positive. But we also noted that the way the data has been coming in, and then data has been kind of retroactively modified as more data comes in. Yesterday's total percentage of positive tests actually got revised upward to 11.6%. So today we're at 11.3 again, which is the same as I reported yesterday, but which turns out is actually lower than it was yesterday. So that's, not terrible news. It's terrible news in that 11.3% is very, very high. Right? You want less than 3% of your positive tests to be coming back positive, right? So 11.3 is not good at all. But that was rising for basically the entire month of November. So to level it off for a day or two is not bad news. We're now at 3,148 new cases per day. That includes 3,589 new cases today. Yesterday, we were over 4,200 new cases just for the day, which is the first day in 2021 we were over 4,000 cases. So fewer cases today leaves our 7-day average roughly the same as it was yesterday, which was 3,154. So it's even down just a little bit, but for all purposes, basically the same. Now, throughout the pandemic, up until earlier this fall, we've seen basically a 1% case fatality rate, meaning of all the cases that we identify, about 1% end in fatality, which means 3,100 cases per day should translate to about 31 deaths per day a month from now. That would put COVID right next to heart disease as the top number one killer of people in Wisconsin. That's where we were last year. Last year we were in the 60s about this time last year. So the fact that the daily death average is 17, it's higher than yesterday. It was 16 yesterday. But in the past 7 days, we've had 17 deaths confirmed per day. That includes 29 confirmed yesterday. That is bad, right? 17 deaths per day is bad. There's no way around that. It's not as bad as I feared that it would be. It might get worse. It's a lagging indicator, right? These are not deaths that are happening right now. These are deaths that happened in the past 6 to 8 weeks and are just now being confirmed. So in January, we could be in the 30s. I'll cross my fingers and hope that we're not. Okay. So that's where we are in terms of deaths. Hospitalizations also up today to 1,250, which is basically where we were Monday. We get down a little bit and then back up. It's 106 more. Oh no, this is where we were yesterday because the hospitalization data has not been updated. I just thought it was very similar to yesterday, but I'm looking at the date now. Here we go. I have refreshed the page. Now we're up at 1,278. You got to hit the refresh button, guys. 1,278 people currently hospitalized. That's the highest of the year. That's up by 28 since yesterday. That's up by 100 since a week ago. 337 of those are in the ICU. That's up 16 from yesterday and up 22 from a week ago. So, yeah, the hospitalization situation is not good either. We peaked last year at a little over 1,800 in early December of 2020. That was, and then we started really dropping rapidly, and we haven't been over 1,240. We haven't been at this level. We haven't been over, December 22nd last year, we had 1,274. We are now at 1,278. So that's the highest level of 2021. So not great. None of it's great. None of it's good. Some of the spreading epidemiological numbers have leveled off. All right, I have some more news for you. We'll be right back. We're going to take a short pause. We'll be right back. And we got a couple of more local and national stories for you right after this. All right, thanks for sticking around. We got a couple of local news stories for you. On the website today, Madison365.org, we've got a profile on Culture Collectives, which is a city-owned or city-operated sort of pop-up shops. They're these two storefronts on State Street that are now populated by about a dozen small businesses owned by Black and Brown folks. And our reporter, Angelica Usury, checked in with them. They opened in October. Our Angelica's checked in with them to see how it's going. Not great, to be honest. They do have support from the city. The city has a dedicated staff person to support them. They're all grateful. I mean, I can't speak for all, but the ones we talked to seem to be grateful for the opportunity. But State Street is still a very white space, and there's still a barrier to come into a shop full of Black and brown people. It just is. Not only that, it's November, December is not the most foot traffic time, and State Street has just been kind of abandoned since in the pandemic and this protests and everything downtown. So it's an idea. It's a good idea. It's a positive idea. Not quite having the impact that they wanted us to have just yet, but so we're honest about that. We got to be honest about stuff because we're journalists. That's what we do. So that story is on Madison365.org right now. Also in the news today, excuse me, Madison East officials are investigating some graffiti, which is very unfortunate. Anti-Asian graffiti that was found yesterday. Yesterday, it is, if you're not aware, you are now, it is Hmong New Year this week. And to celebrate that, several Hmong students actually came to school yesterday in sort of traditional Hmong costume or attire, and did some dances and some music, and kind of shared their Hmong culture with a couple of classes. And I don't know if this is related to that or not, but it was just an unfortunate coincidence. But there was some in a stairwell over the lunch hour. There was some anti-Asian graffiti discovered there, and they took a couple pictures of it to document it, and then worked very quickly to get rid of it. But an investigation is underway, and it's just really unfortunate. And finally, today in national news, you may have seen this on the site. We had this story when it first broke. These three guys from Georgia are now convicted murderers. They chased and killed and lynched Ahmaud Arbery back in February of 2020. Travis McMichael on the left there was convicted on 9 charges, including malice murder, aggravated murder, and 4 counts of felony murder. I don't know why that's happening. Sorry, I had I pulled the story up just to get the names right, and the CNN video started playing. His father, Gregory McMichael, on the right there, was convicted on 8 charges, all but the malice murder. And the guy in the middle, William Bryan, their neighbor, was convicted on 6 charges, including 3 charges of felony murder and 1 charge of aggravated assault and 1 charge of false imprisonment. So the fact is that they were held responsible and accountable for the death of Ahmaud Arbery, thanks in large part to a cell phone video that an attorney representing them actually released to the public, thinking it would exonerate them. But it was clear from that video that this was not a self-defense situation. That they chased him, tried to arrest him, and ultimately killed him. And now they'll go to sentencing. This many charges, they're going to get life sentences, I'm pretty certain. So it was a pretty, I don't know, it was an emotional scene outside the courthouse in Georgia, from what I could tell. People were pretty happy as you could be in the situation. So that is a big, big development in that case, especially coming on the heels of the acquittal of Kyle Rittenhouse just last week. So that's all I have for you today. Have a wonderful holiday weekend. I will be back Monday. I'm going to take tomorrow and Friday off. But we'll have more news for you Monday. We'll have actually a special interview on Monday, which I already taped today. So I will have that for you on Monday. And until then, have a wonderful holiday. Take some time for yourself. Take care of yourself. Put your mask on. Right? And we'll see you soon.
This is 365 Media.